So we're just starting this recording now, inviting people to have spent this time listening to this beautiful, peaceful music of James and writing down the gifts, just recalling the gifts that animals have brought to your lives and are bringing now to your lives. And I'm going to start the screen share. And if anybody has any questions as we go along, I really would love to have you take this opportunity. Let's see, screen share, share screen. Okay. Come on, Linda, we can do this. Why am I not getting this? Share screen. Okay. Get this up. I want to have the sound, so I have to make sure I get this right. Oh, yeah. It's really hard with these closed captions because I can't catch there. Now I got it. Come on, share screen. Make sure that you can hear my sound, because if I don't click sound and I can't see it with so much else on the screen, I may not have it. Doggone it. Okay. So I'm going to begin with this first little video. And it's a very, so I just picked this little guy up here at the animal hospital. He was neutered and had some teeth pulled, and he has auriculum. So I've got the medication for him. He was sitting up and shaking a few minutes ago, but I've been just doing some really gentle work on his ears. And, you know, it's so interesting. He's the closest I could come to having an animal that reminds me of a hyena. He's so interesting. Oh, sweetheart, he's really shaking. He's just out of surgery. Touches on his ears, and then do little hair slides like this. And he stopped about half of the shaking and lay down, put his head down. At first he was sitting up when I first brought him in. Yeah. This ability to bring our animals into the body when they've had a shock or had an injury or coming out of anesthesia. The slide that I'm doing on the ears, the pressure that I'm doing on the ears, for those of you who don't know the work that well, it's like you have a rose petal in your hand. That's how gentle it is. And the pressure that I'm using, the TTouches that I'm using, it's not a massage. It's the same pressure you would use if you would take your forefinger and move the skin on your eyelid over your eyeball. That's a one pressure, and that's what I'm doing. It's like a message to the body. It's not a massage. So I'm going to do my second one. And this was, by the way, this was June 20th, 2020. This is the next day. Oof. Marnie, help, I need to make the screen bigger. Now I'm supporting the weight of my own hand. That's what's important for you to know. There's never any laying, and my right hand is on his by just not pressing down at all, just holding it because there's so much shaking and jumping that was going on. Notice how his paws are pulled up. Now, I'd like you just to imagine as you're doing this, let us use our energy, knowing that everything we say, touch, feel, believe has energy. And just imagine that this is your dog that you are touching in this way, making a connection. Now, I'm just going to show you short little ones of some of these. So we put out to the universe, we wanted a dog who needed a home. This is the next day. To be small and not shed and have something unusual about him, you know, a story. And you can see, we got this amazing, he's like this mythical creature. I mean, this beautiful mane that he has, and he's got a wonderful tail. It's like kind of like a lion's tail. That's so, and he has a wonderful personality. Yeah. And he definitely needs a home. And we're excited. Hold on, Marnie, what's going on? What's wrong? Sorry, I have to stop this a minute. What are you saying?
We're just seeing the first picture.
You're just seeing, oh, it's not, what? Oh my gosh, wait a minute. So I'm playing this, but it's not going to the next picture. Oh, sorry, you all, somebody has to, okay. What happened here? Don't you love his tail? Stop this. Why am I not? Oh, okay, so I clicked on this. Do you not see another picture there now? Sage, I can see you. Can somebody unmute themselves?
No, we can't. We're still looking at the picture of the video with Griffin. We could hear the sound, but we didn't get the picture.
Isn't that strange? Why is that? Why? And I'm switching over. Oh dear.
I think it's because when you shared screen, it was to the one folder, and when you want to share to a different screen, you need to reshare.
Oh, okay. So what we may have to do is we may have to just share what we're feeling at this point, and I will get with Shannon and we will put this in proper process like I normally do. I just didn't do it this time.
Stop sharing screen, stop sharing, and
Yes.
then
Thank you.
reshare again to the location where your other video is.
Yeah, and I might suggest you all, you might like to turn your videos off so we don't see you unless you want to speak, but otherwise I'm seeing a lot in the background. I don't know if there's any way we can shut them all down. Do you know, Marnie, how to do that? Or one of you know how to shut everybody's screen off?
Everybody is down except for one person.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is really awkward, but we're together, so okay, I'll do this again, but this is going to not be easy. So do you see that now? Do you see me sitting down?
Yes, we do, Linda. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so let us, every time we have, I had this guy, this friend years ago I met, a man who said, you know something, you all, we don't have enough slack time in our lives. So let us take this time, this slack time, when I have to switch over and do a heart hug and call in all the animals, maybe one animal, maybe all the animals, just bring them in here and let us pour our love out into the universe. Remember these amazing words of the title of Dr. Jerry John Palsey's book, Love is Letting Go of Fear. We have two emotions, love and fear. So the fear of losing our animals can prevent us from experiencing the deepness of the love that we can feel when we share in this way and we share our feelings. So, okay, with that in mind, so we put out to the universe, we wanted a dog who needed a home, and he had to be small and not shed and have something unusual about him, you know, a story. And you can see we got this amazing, he's like this mythical creature. I mean, this beautiful mane that he has, and he's got a wonderful tail. It's like kind of like a lion's tail. It's so, and has a wonderful personality. Yeah. And he definitely needs a home. And you're excited. And you know, I first signed up to foster him just to make sure that Roland would love him. And halfway home, he was a failed foster. There was no question. Okay, so I'm going to go on and stop the share a moment and go on to the next one. And for anyone coming in late, Renee, hi, we're just sharing these stories, and it's screen share again. Now, share screen, and oh, Linda. Wait, I'm going to get back to my. Come on, we can do this. I can do this. But it's going to take me a moment. This is where all of our intelligence comes into play. Our tugs. All in the angels. What do I have to do here? I have to go up here. This is the thing, each time I have to remember to go back in. There. In advance. Okay, screen share again. You can all help me. You can all hold this. Calling all angels. Got to do the screen share again. I think I'm not sharing this picture right now. Is that
No,
correct?
that's correct. You're not sharing.
Thank you very much, Deidre. Let's see. I will bring this up. And I have to go back to my Zoom. There. Share screen. Share, and there he is.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Okay, I do a little video of this wonderful one. Yes. Yes. Yeah, what a good dog. Yeah, can you go down on the floor so I can do TTouches not quite so close to you? See that? Yes. Yes. It was lovely the way he started reaching out a little bit, responding to me. He's the most enthusiastic little being. Oh, your ears are cold. Put your feet down on the floor. That's a good point. Oh, yeah. Oh. Now, the talking is something like the tone into my hand, timbre of our voice. Yeah. This quiet voice helps to keep us in heart coherence as long as it's not chittering. Oh. Yeah. I'm folding my fingers back, and we're doing a little chin TTouch there. Oh, just like that. Yeah. And you can see what he's starting to do is kind of lean into me. That's what I'm waiting for. Not to have to go to him, but to have him reach to me. And be curious. Yeah. It is mean. And what about this tail? Can you do your tail? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and asking him, telling him what I'm going to do. Good. So I'm going to stop the share. And we're going to go to the next one. Very good. Stay there. Go to the, oops. There. Okay. Now this is when I believe I got the new type of TTouch. An additional. Now I have to go back to Zoom. You can all whole, the intention of getting you there. Okay, back, here we go, screen share. Share,
Yeah, that's good.
okay, now I just have to turn it on. Yep.
Okay.
So Griffin has taught me a new form of outlining the body. We've been doing this for like 10 minutes. And I'll do it as long as he stays there. He keeps asking for more. And he's been play bowing, and sometimes he sits down and then just put his feet on it. It's a new form of tarantula, right? What do you think? Oh, and we have these little tiny circles. Oh, yeah, very. First one side. I hope those of you who talk to your dog like this will maybe understand it's part of it. Okay. Stop the chair. Now, what I'm going to do is take you through the process of the changes that we began to get. And so I have to go back to here and move forward. Oh, well, that's just, here's, okay, this is interesting. Again, it's I think this is about day 9. Let's see. Come on, Linda. Zoom. Screen share.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Where do I catch? Oh, there.
Okay.
So you hear the dogs barking around, and what's really interesting, he doesn't pay any attention to the dogs barking. But if a car makes a backfire or somebody like people loud speaking outside, he gives a woof. Don't you? He gives a little woof. He gives a and he loves to stick his nose in my hand. If I made a circle, he'd stick his nose in the circle. Okay, so you get the idea. And what was really interesting, I didn't think he had a bark. We do this about 10 minutes. You know, maybe I can, yeah. Okay, can you see this still? Can you see a change?
Yes,
Oh, so it worked.
did it. Maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
You're getting
So-
good at this, Linda.
Right, so, about a week later, I took him in the car and he was really afraid. I don't have pictures of it, so I just took him home because I was certain that he thought that he was leaving. And so I just waited, and I mean, a couple of weeks later, I really got the impression he wanted to go with me. And you can see the difference. There he is just sitting and he loved the car. Now, we started to do outings, and can you see this?
Yep,
You see-
you're doing
Yes,
good.
we can.
So this is Griffin training. This is the first he's done anything like this. He's been a very good dog. Yes, right with the organic apples. Look at him, very good dog. Doesn't he look like a little cross between a little hyena? No, and a wild dog, and from the back, you look the other way and let us see what it is. See, now he looks like a little horse, right? I love hyenas, you might, and fruit bats, that's what he looked like. So we started to do outings now, of course, on leash. And Griffin's going to be a banana dog. He's a banana catching dog. That was a wonderful thing in Hawaii. We had these banana trees in the backyard.
Nice, you guys. Look at that. A big harvest.
So then you start to see his personality really come
But
out.
this little guy, he is so cute. And that tail goes
This is
all the
about
time.
3 weeks
The tail
later.
goes all the time. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Arr, 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 arr. And see, he's using his right hind leg really well, aren't you? Show them your hind leg. Look at this. Oh, he's the best doggy, doggy, doggy. Yes, he's the best doggy.
That's not a TTouch you haven't seen.
He is so cute and he loves his little nose. He's held like this. Ooh, he just pushes in. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's a good dog. Yep. And he doesn't bark. The whole time he's been here, what, 2.5 weeks, months, I mean. And I'd say, oh, okay, no, you have to go and pee. Okay, let's go. Go, down you go. Go, you go first. There he goes. Nope, wants me to come. Bye.
I just love the way he always waited for me like this. Now, this is when we started really exploring and we were so blessed in this area. This was just a few weeks later. And we had areas where we could walk like 3 minutes from our house, and this is a closed area. It's a path down here, no cars, it's on the water. And I just
Griffin is. I just love it that he just stands here and looks when I want to stop. And often when he wants to stop and just look, that's what I do. He's just looking around here. We're a 5-minute walk from our home. Many of you who've been here for workshops have sat on this tree and exchanged visions from a talking stone ceremony that we've done here.
So let's give
Look at these
honor of
trees.
Mother Nature and the gorgeous
It's not
trees over there.
magnificent.
I'm gonna
When I
stop
want
here.
to stop,
And sleeping with him. And this is really interesting. This is when we started
can you show everybody what
playing
you
with
do?
him.
Yes, he's got his feet. You ready? Okay, should we? Let's play a little. You ready? Come down. Come on. Okay, go. Yeah. You ready for another?
Now, you know, he's doing a lot of stuff and we're not rewarding him with food. I'm gonna show you some, and we use minimal food because we want the dog to respond to our hearts, not to our food.
That's the boy. Oh, it's great. Look at this way. Here, and down. Sit, please. Down.
Oh,
No, you're not.
I
You're
forgot
on the
that
wood.
he couldn't
You do
sit
it.
there. He has to be,
Easy.
he did it, but
Lie down.
normally he has to be on the carpet.
That's very
Because
good.
America
Thank you.
first,
Thank you.
rewarding him with a little food.
Okay.
Because
Now,
it was
watch
very
the enthusiasm.
a flying dog. I don't remember what this is.
I'm bouncing dog. Yes. We gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Here. Okay, jump up on the couch. Come on. Up, up, up. Good. Yeah, boy.
Sharing. And so this is when we started clicker training, and I was so blessed because Terry Rolfe is a TTouch practitioner from Texas who had moved to Hawaii, and she's also a clicker trainer. And so we would do weekly sessions with him. Let's see there.
Too fast, right?
That wasn't too bad. I moved the camera though weirdly.
Okay, so I'll do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Good boy, Griffin. Leave it.
That was really nice.
Just these little weekly sessions were amazing what came of it, which I'm going to show you. Okay. Oops. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, this is where he has to go buy something, you know, on the floor.
It's okay.
So he's, the idea is to walk through and buy a loose leash or something, a treat lying here on the floor.
There's our dog just waiting. You ready? Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. Here.
Oh, I think I showed that to you. Now, okay, so what we had to do now in order to get his good citizen certification, he had to go into a crowd and just be on a loose leash and be standing there. So we were really lucky. So this was 1 year after we got him. This was on my birthday, June 30th, 2021. And we took him to the Hilton, and we were so lucky, you all, because for locals, we got a night at the Hilton for like, I think it's $140. And people were flying in from all over to pay for $600 a night. And there was no food available. They had to go out and buy at the, like the little local, I mean, at the big local grocery store that the Hilton had. They had to buy food and eat it in the room. So this was part.
Okay, go.
That was really good. I didn't realize till I moved that I was blocking the camera, so that was much better.
So Terry went with us that day to take the videos and testing him. And this was the train that the Hilton has. It is so much fun. There's a boat and a train. So we had all kinds of things we could do in over 3 days from my birthday on. Oh. This got thrown in here, but I.
There we go. There.
It's like I went. I just wanted you to feel the enthusiasm. That's who this dog was. And this is another little thing. He was very sweet with children. Like he would just stand there, and if they would put their hand out quietly, he'd come and just touch their hand. He was amazing with that. And this I had to share. Oh my God. I think this dog was a street dog for a while because, man, you know, aside from when he was on leash, of course, he walked by, but now we're on the beach and we're having an amazing time here. And he found the smelliest old fish and he loved to dig like that.
What'd you find, Griffin?
I have no idea how bad it
Something
was.
interesting.
Unfortunately, I had to take it away
Oh.
from him, but God knows how
Oh,
bad
dear.
it was. It was a really, yeah.
I don't know what you're eating.
Yeah.
Move. Go boy, go boy, go boy. Come on, I don't, could be eating wild cat poo.
Oh, so this was another. clip
Now
we did.
eventually we'll do it for many directions, so he might turn around and still go back on it. Yes, he will.
Wow. Yes, this is the
Nice.
third time. It hasn't been 5 minutes
Very nice.
since.
Griffin.
That's
Oh
so
my
great.
goodness.
That is beautiful. This is really fun. And there was one that we missed here. I wanted you to see this because it's really.
Griffin, he climbed up on this log.
This is
And I showed it to him the other day when I was up on it, but he didn't want to come up and he climbed up this now himself. And he's just exploring. He is so brave. I'm gonna find a way to get down. Griffin, look over here. Look over here, Griffin. I don't want you to jump down on the rocks. Yes, we'll take you down. You can climb down there. There, can you go down there? No. Oops. Here we go. Put him down. There he is. Yeah, I don't want him leaping off that log 2.5 feet down onto the uneven rocks.
I just love this picture. You know, we were so lucky to have all of this interesting different types of terrain. And every day another possibility of walking. Now, this is the work that he just loved, and I wonder how many of you have done nose work. This was really,
I'm going to try to
it's just practice
make a
at
little
home.
video. This
I
is
can't find all of it
before
as I
mine.
did in class.
And as soon as he came out and saw these boxes, this is the third room I've had them in. And he just headed to them and tried every one. This one has that red thing in it, and that's containing a little Q-tip with birch smell on it. And I hope you can see have got a treat in there. So what he does is he's waiting behind the door. The 3 other times he went in here and then sat on the couch and waited till I called him. But this time he just stood there ready. Now watch. That's where it was in that room before. But now he's got to see if he can find him. There he goes. He searches everyone. Looking carefully. It's in there. There you got it. What a good dog. What a good dog. Cat was very clever. He keeps looking just in case. Wow.
And all of this work that we did, I have wonderful videos of him going up and down stairs at the Hilton and staying in bed with us. And it was really interesting. It's the first day, like the night, we weren't sure how he would be in a hotel room, and he was totally great. And then I had to take him out to pee the next day, which he did right away, peed and pooed. And this was at New Year's Eve on the 21st, 2021, just sitting on Roland's lap. We were at a party and there were fireworks going off on around us, and you can see these two are pretty happy. And all of this was in preparation because we had made the decision that we had to move off the island and come closer to our work in Europe. And if we'd been like 1 week later, if COVID had been 1 week later, we probably would possibly be in Europe now, not here. So he flew on United, and he stayed in my lap or Roland's lap the whole flight. And it was really incredible. We took him out in Denver and gave him a chance to go to the dog pee place, but man, he didn't want any part of it. And he just held it until we got to where we were going. Now, Lise Madsen picked us up at the airport, and this was in her home, and he always had this, I took the same little bed with him. And so this was when he was in the living room with us. And this is when,
Tell him, please let me sleep. You cannot bother me when I am in my bed. This is so cute. I mean, I wouldn't be allowing this, except they've had this conversation, and Johnny is 8 months old. and he
Griffin
has
is so
to learn
correct.
that
He's telling
it
Johnny,
doesn't work. He does
listen,
have to leave Griffin alone
like-
in his bed.
don't come in my bed. And it's really important to allow him to sit, to do that, and to let Johnny. So this next one is Roland doing TTouch on the 2 dogs.
Says, I'm not quite so sure about this dog. He's a little, no, another male.
He was a 10-month-old, very hyperactive,
What a good boy. That's very nice.
and doing TTouch on the 2 of
Yes.
them at the same time, and staying really quiet in heart coherence, and not, and holding the picture, you all, holding this possibility of peace and calmness and understanding between them. And that's what happened. I have some other wonderful pictures of them playing together and sorting it out, and Griffin was so correct in just saying, wait a minute, and that's the only time he ever growled at I forget his now, the little lassie's name, I forget. So I just, this was when we started, first of all, Griffin had some of the TTouches that, and some of the work I've been doing with Griffin. Oh, each evening when I take his harness off and the cone, because he has to have this cone on his head, to keep him from scraping this nose where he had a tumor removed, and there's still stitches in there. Monday, thank heaven they come out. And he's just been so brave and so good, but it's gonna be really hard for him to keep this on. And so, oh, so we tried several different types of cones. Nice. And as long as I was there, the pillow cone worked. So this is, so what happened, I'm not going to put us through, what happened, first of all, he had a little thing on his leg, and we had it looked at, and took it and had it removed, and it was not malignant. And then he had another place on his eye, and they left that, but then one came up on his nose, and these are like months apart. And on the nose, it came back, it was malignant. So they took it off and offered me at the time the possibility of putting him on a low dose chemo, which apparently they put a lot of dogs on because they expected it to come back. But I really didn't want to do that. And I think the quality of life that he had was just amazing. And let me just see if I can show you what happened when we got here to, it was such an incredible life that we had here for a year. Let me see how I go back here now. Oh, patience. Just a little moment and I will get it. It's worth the wait. Maybe it'll be another time. Anyway, we had these beautiful off-leash, all these incredible moments that we had. And what happened when I came back on last week, I came back on the 18th of June. I'd been gone a week, and Griffin was eating really well, but that night he did not eat his dinner. And when I came home at midnight, he was just lying there on the carpet. And when I came in, he got up and flat-footed walked over, touched my hand, and went back and lay down there. And it was clear that he was bloated. So I worked on him a lot that night with just gentle work and hoping that it was colic, thinking it was colic. And when I took him the next day, this is at the vet hospital, in his blanket in his bed. And when Dr. Johnson came back, she said, they did an x-ray, but she didn't like his red cell count was way too high. And so she sent me across the street because it was closing time there for them. And there was no way I was going to leave him overnight. So we went to urgent care, and then they did an ultrasound and found that there'd been a bleed of a tumor into the spleen. And you can imagine how difficult this was to spend time with him and to say goodbye and doing this, I don't know, when you're not expecting it, you know how that is. I think it's maybe easier when you have a longer wait. But Roland was at home and he couldn't come. And so we said goodbye. And what happened then, the degree of grieving has been so precious for me. I've never gone through this so much, and he's still here with us. And going through all these pictures, because I have so many wonderful ones, has been incredible. And Marnie and I talked a lot about this idea that if we dare to share with our friends, because I'm going to, at the celebration, I'm going to show you some of the saying goodbye that we've done and with our dogs and others on Zoom who were alone and couldn't have anyone with them, because we need to share it. And the fact that I'm sharing this with you and this energy, they're never gone. Energy is never gone. Griffin is always in my heart and Roland's, and it's just such a blessing. And the fact that I can cry with you all, which I did a lot on my Tuesday, because this is the second time I've gone through this. And I would just really like to, just say goodbye there. And I'm not going to say goodbye to you because I am going to now stop the screen share and just ask if there are any of you who, during that process of telling your animals what gifts they brought to your lives, if any of you would like to share any of those gifts in the name of your animals. Because when we dare to share through our grief and our celebration of these lives, we put this out to the planet. I'll just open this to see if anyone would like to. And then we're going to ask James to play, to sing us a song, if you would, James. But I would really like to, I'm sure there must be some of you who would like to share a gift or gifts that your animals have brought you.
Kathy Collin has her hand up.
Thank you, Kathy. Would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you, Linda. I remember my Kostakis when he left, and I sat with him. I had made a candle only for the date. He had a kidney disease, so I put soft music and I meditated. And in meditation, I explained to him, the doctor will come here. And I remember all the moments, the good moments and the bad moments. I asked sorry for him if I was a bad mommy sometimes. And I shared with him, I showed him also the good moments, and he was just sitting there. And then the doctor phoned and he said, can you come here? I said, no, you are coming here. And my home and my cat is going to be put to sleep on my bed. And the doctor came and and when I hung the phone, I told Kostakis, he stood up and he walked to my bed. He knew the doctor was coming. And I helped him because he could not jump anymore. He was cat. He did not jump anymore. I put him there. And then the doctor came. He knew exactly what was going to happen. I left the soft music, the candle. And my other cat, Cecile, was with us. And then the doctor first, he puts them to sleep. You know, he gives a light, a relaxing for them to, tranquilizer. And he cried out because of the needle. You know, he just did a little cry, and Cecile came running and she stood up. And we were three of us, we were together. And I felt a huge relief because he's been suffering. I felt his huge relief. And I told the doctor, he's gone. And he said, no, he's not gone yet, he's gone. And the doctor put him to sleep completely, and he's gone. He's very peaceful, very peaceful. Thank you, Linda, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you. And what was his name?
Kostakis. I know it's a bit complicated. It's in Greece. Kostakis. I'm in Greece. Sorry.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Just daring to share, to bring them in and honoring these animals and the amazing gifts of love that they bring to us, that we dare to open our hearts in the way that we can to our animals. It's such a blessing. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else, Marnie, that you can see?
Cheryl has her hand up.
Great.
And
Cheryl,
after that,
thank you.
Deirdre. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for doing this, Linda. This has been really special, but oh gosh, you get the emotion. I wanted to share about Farletta's gift, and it's interesting because Farletta was my horse, for those of you who don't know. And I knew she was going to pass, so I had time to be with her beforehand. And for whatever reason, she has asked me, and she keeps reminding me that what happened between us in those 2 hours. But what I do want to share is that one thing that she said before she left was that with her gone, we would actually be closer. There would be more that she could do for me and that we could do together after she left. After she was free from her body and after I was free from being so caught up in trying to help her and love her. And she was right. It's been almost 2 years, and the freedom that I've had to pursue other things has been really helpful to me as far as moving forward in my career and what I want to do, the writing and everything, but also the connection that we share. You know, she's like you say with Griffin, she's still here. She still talks to me and she still helps me. We actually just put a book together, both of us together, put a book together. So she continues to help me and to teach me. And that's what I wanted to share is
Thank
that
you.
I would have never recognized that the relationship could continue and grow the way that it has, I think, but it has. So
And especially with a horse, because you don't get to be with them all the time. And the fact that they can she can continue to be with you and continue to lead you as she had to reveal yourself and bring these books out and share your story has been really incredible. Would you just like to give the name of your 2 books about with her?
oh yeah, the books. Well, there's 3 now. The first one was Follow Me, Friend. The second one is called I've Never Been to Me. And the third one, the one that she helped me write just recently, is called Horse Listening. And it's about listening to your horse with curiosity, gratitude, and intention, and being curious about behavior instead of bringing judgment to behavior. And it's a combination of a book and a journal. So that's got some guided journal pages in the back and then some text in the front. So, but it was her idea. So
The fact that she can come through in this way, and it's so interesting for you all. Like normally we would take time before we even look for another dog, but Griffin made it really clear to me, and Roland had exactly the same feeling, that he wanted us to have this joy that he brought from this type of dog that he was into our lives. So that's why we are waiting to see who is supposed to come now. So thank you so much for sharing. And Deirdre.
Hello, hi Linda.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. I've had to say goodbye to 8 little kiddies. And the last one, it was incredible because after the vet had left and I was just sitting with Sammy out on the patio, and he, you know, she'd done what she came to do and he'd gone, but I was on my own and I just did TTouch with him for about 20 minutes. And I could feel, he could feel it, something in him could feel it, that I was touching him with TTouch, and that it just helped his little soul to go. And that was a great gift, a great gift.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you.
I have a little poem that I could share if you want.
Please. Yes.
It just came to me today. I don't usually write poetry. It is poetry. But anyway. You gave me love. You gave me respect, which is not what I expected. You cherished my existence and you acknowledged my persistence without trying to change me. You always let me take the lead. You made my life so rich and so complete. We know you really loved us and you gave us so much care. You were always there for us and never let us despair. We had a really perfect life with you because the love between us was so special and so true. We shared many an intimate moment. when love and care abounded. He wanted to stay with you, but that is not what God intended.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Linda, for all the work you do.
And lovely kitty into the universe. So thank you. Do I see other hands waiting?
Sally was next, but her hand went down. I don't know.
Uh,
Sally, did you?
Well, I
Oh.
have a thing that my collective animals sent to me in that little meditation. And I don't know how useful it is, but I
Please.
had 2 corgis, Winston and Comet, and then my horses, Burgers, Hawk, Richard, and Goblin, and my bunnies, Leo, Agatha, Lily, and Rufus, and I never see them all together. So they said, we are all here together and we are with you always. We are caring for you and Tristan and Kestrel, my current dogs, to keep you all safe and connected to each other. Each time you send love to one of us, we all receive it and send it back to you. We are surrounded by a spiritual community who understands us and all animals and plants, and it's so valuable that you all send these messages of love and connection to the rest of the world, because not everyone understands right now, and many of them want to understand. We are with you when you assist other animals crossing the bridge. We help you find the right words for their people to feel the animal's presence in their new place as spirit. We are grateful we can help you with this work, as it's so comforting to the animals. We thank you for allowing us to be your teachers, and we forgive you for the mistakes you made in your learning process. We feel your great love always. We are your guides, and we will be with you always.
Oh, Sally, that is so beautiful. And to know that, you know, they're all there with you, all together. That is such a great gift. You know,
I never really thought of all of them. I've only thought of one at a time.
oh, wow. Big heart, big love. Thank you so much for sharing that. Marnie?
Maggie is next and Arati after that.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for these sharings. And for those of you who
Hey.
have to leave, I totally understand. Know that you've been with us in spirit, and do a heart hug before you go. But I think this sharing that we have is so important. Sally, as your animal said, you know, put it out to the world. Others need to hear that, and to validate that this love for animals is really special. It opens us in new ways. Maggie, hi.
Hey, Maggie Powell. That everything happens for a reason. Your photos got scrambled, and 10 minutes before, yeah, at 10 minutes to 10, I was going through an old box of files, and I found a picture of Frank the Connemara.
Oh,
And he was in several of your clinics at Shadow Valley, at in Robbins, and I never thought I would own a horse like him. I mean, from Ireland, he was just so. How they come to us. 87, I was given 50,000 to buy 8 horses in Ireland by a man who didn't care once they got here, and he was sent to me 2 years later. He so terrified. The horse was terrified in Ireland. I rescued him. He'd been beaten. He'd been made an A show jumper in 2 years. It was just so terrible. And I felt I rescued him. And then I didn't see him for 2 years. He was in Los Angeles in a stall locked in. And they called me and said, will you sell him for us? He's a wreck. And he came to me in the desert. And I went, oh my God. And you'd go to do the noseband and he'd go, don't tie my head down. I mean, and he was terrified in the arena and he was terrified out. So I opened all the gates and I'd ride him out and over your obstacles and back in the arena. And Tellington work was a key to that horse. And his name was Ashfield Rocket, the famous Ashfield ponies, like world famous, the breeding. And he was a runaway. And I said, we have to change his name. And Roberta Fredericks, I had never met you or done much Tellington work, only a little. She said, well, Linda Tellington Jones says, let them name themselves. And that night I have a dream, a 1-minute dream, and he's talking in Irish and he's going, my name is Frank. My name is Frank, Frankie, if you must. And it stuck. He was Frank for 30 more years. I had him. And they didn't pay their bills. And they called me 6 months later and said, well, we owe you money. We don't care. We're divorcing and you can have him. You can have the pony. And I realized he wasn't a school horse. He went to leasing by one little girl or two little girls, and he became my rock of my riding school. And we showed at Indio. We were the only ones who trailered in for the day at the AA rated show, you know. And he'd win, and he got fourth out of 50. Muffy, the $100,000 pony he beat, you know, from New York. And Frank was my class A, you know. And so at 20, he was still jumping and wanted to jump everything. He'd jump out of his stall. And I said, I can't sell you. Someone will abuse you. So I realized I'm keeping this one till he goes. And Connemara's ponies, they go a long time. I thought I should have a retirement fund. So there he goes at 30. He's still doing first level dressage at 30. And 32, it's like, well, maybe we'll just play around the barn. So long story long, at 30, yeah, at 38, you know, now he's eat pulp and soak stuff. And the most stoic, by the way, I could give him injections with no halter. He's like, yeah, do it. And he got over most of his fears. A man with a hat, a strange man, still was like, whoa. But his intestinal lining went. And so today, what the gift that you gave me is, I didn't believe he was dying. I was out there alone at the stables. No vet could come. I gave him ACE IV, and I said, you have to get up. I called the emergency rescue to make him get up, and they got there and shook their heads. And I said, Frank, come on. And so the gift that I got to say, I felt so guilty because I kept trying to make him get up. Just get up, Frank. I mean, you've been with me. You're not going. You can't go. And what he said to me today was, it's okay, Mom. I didn't know I was going either. I wanted to stand up, but I couldn't feel my body. And then the vet got there to give the injection, and it was too late. It wouldn't even go in. He'd coagulated. And when he passed 2 minutes later, what came out his nose, she just went, that's the most excruciating pain a horse can ever go through, what he's been through today. And we were, you know, and so he forgave me. He told me today, it's okay, Mom. I didn't know I was going either, because he and I have been through so much, the death of my mother, the loss of our family. And yeah, so he forgave me. He explained, it's okay, Mom. So, because I always felt guilty, you know, come on, get up. You can get up. No, he wasn't going to get up. So,
yeah. And Maggie, that for message of forgiveness is so important for the people who have had to put their animals, help them across like I did, and feel guilty about it, not, you know, and not getting over it. And they really need to ask their animals. It's so important because they always forgive.
Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing, Maggie.
Arati is next.
Hi, Arati. Hi. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for sharing the wonderful vignettes and snippets of Griffin. And I have a little dog who keeps coming through, and it's not the animal I plan to talk about, but Coco Banana just is here. And I think what I'm getting so much from is the jump into belief that they're still here. I think that's been hard for me to buy in, that they're really here. But I'm feeling her, and I guess I just really want confirmation. The horse that I wanted, the Coco Banana, was a little applehead Chihuahua mix, or is. And she just wanted her presence to be known.
Interesting, that she wanted you to feel her.
And I guess I'm just looking for more confirmation that I can really have these sustaining relationships. So Prasad was at your clinic, and you wrote him, And he was the horse originally named the Hot Scotchman. I renamed him because he was very hot. Renamed him Prasad. And he shared so much love with me that went right through me. I've had so many animals. This particular kind of love was really impactful. And it kind of faded in and out as I faded in and out, just doing life. He lived with me, but at one point I had a cancer diagnosis and was leaving saying goodbye to the land that we had, and I boarded him, and the fees were so high, I rehomed him, and I felt guilt for taking him away from the next person he fell in love with to another place where I am told he stood in the back of the pasture and didn't interact much. So there was all this guilt, and I wanted to know how to have revive a relationship with him now. And so he said to keep my ears and eyes open now and always. And I guess I just really want to know that I can have a relationship with him, not to just get over my guilt, but to have the relationship that we didn't because of so many life's distractions. Can I do TTouch on him now?
Yes. Definitely. And this is what's so beautiful. And the thing is, this is why it's really important to have these discussions. And you heard what Sally said, all these animals came to her. Normally it's one at a time, and there were so many of that I personally knew who were really precious. And the fact that they're all coming together, but this is our opportunity. And you see, Harati, what has been a big mystery for me all these years is, how can it be that this simple 1 1/4 circle can relieve fear and pain? I wanted to know. And in this case, you want to know how, why do we say that? Why is it possible? How can you say it's possible for me to have a relationship and he's gone, right? And so this is where reading is really helpful. And I recommend, I'm trying to think what of some of the, first of all, just start writing to him. And the fact that in the new understanding of science is that energy is never gone. It's all here. Every thought that has ever been thought, every feeling, every emotion that's ever thought on humans on this planet is in this quantum field. And there are many different books written about it. And to see, first of all, start writing and just come in again, because I'm going to be bringing this up again. And as other people share, the books that have influenced me and brought me to the merging of science and spirituality have been really, the one that started me on the whole thing was really in that direction was The Divine Matrix by Greg Braden. And from a scientific point of view, he talks about energy, and this energy, everything is energy. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion, and every belief we have is energy. And that is all proven scientifically. That's the thing that I love about this. And right now, today it's still possible on Sunday, it's a free trial of it's called Source, SOURCE. If you go online, a friend of mine, a vet friend of mine from Germany just sent it to me yesterday, and you can still click on it for free today. But after today, it's, I actually paid, I think I paid like $49 so that I can have it all the time, because it's the science behind this connection that we have and our ability to heal ourselves. But that's more about healing ourselves. So just continue, keep writing like this, reach out and write and ask, find out what you should read. And Marnie, let me think. I will post in the world if somebody will take the responsibility of making sure my book list that have the books that have influenced me, and then you can just pick and see what your horse would suggest you read, because it's all about learning and more deeper understanding. Right now, we're doing the Course in Miracles, and that's another way of realizing that we do create our own realities, and it's all about this infinite possibility. That's the quantum idea. So the fact that you're here and we're all talking and sharing these experiences and hearing that other people have these same things, that will find you on your own path to find your amazing place on the planet. So thank you for sharing. And I'm so glad that I had an opportunity to be with him. And you will find as you write that the understanding and the forgiveness, it's all about forgiveness. That's my message to the world. It's a message that I received many years ago personally from the Christ energy in a totally unexpected meeting that I had. And this book, Love is Letting Go of Fear, I recommend you start with this by Jerry Jampolsky. It's delightful, it's funny, it's fun, and it's life-changing. And you will be able to forgive yourself. Thank you.
Anna has, and then Becky have their hands up.
Great. Anna, hi.
You need to unmute.
Hi, Linda. It's great to see you. Thank you for this opportunity. Shoot, now I'm gonna have to do some TTouches just to be able to talk. So I wrote a letter to my dog, Rusty. He was a German Shepherd. I always called him my pygmy shepherd because he was just a petite boy. And he had oral cancer that we removed. And then the doctor was like, the margins are not clean. And so he was like, you know, we could do some radical surgery. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. Because I wanted him to have a dignified. So not too long after the surgery, I was at work and had this feeling I needed to go home and be with him because he was having a rough morning. And so I left and came home, and I was like, let's take a nap. And while I was asleep, he passed.
Wow, what a gift.
And so I wrote him a letter, and I wanted to share what he said to me. He said, "Hi, Mom, I miss you. Things are great here. I run and play fetch all the time here with no pain. You wouldn't believe how many tennis balls there are here." For taking me in when my dad died. You and my new dad made me feel so loved and safe. I'm sorry for destroying the blinds the first day you left me alone. I enjoyed going to work with you and getting to hang out with all my new dog friends at the kennel. The folks there that worked there were so nice to me. I really liked going to class with you and learning new things. I could tell you wanted to learn to communicate with me, and it made me feel special. It was fun. I remember when you went to trainings to learn TTouch. It was so relaxing when you shared it with me. I could feel the love in your fingertips. I'm sorry I had to leave you so soon. I love you, Mom.
Isn't that beautiful?
And I miss him so much.
The thing is, call him in, put some pictures around, put some images. I'm going to have a big picture of Griffin up here next to Rainey and bring them around rather than shutting down that feeling, because it will just pour love in. And do heart hugs right now and just call him in. Call him in. And that connection that you had about destroying the blinds. Ask for more. ask for deeper, because you can, if you start connecting and writing in this way, people have been amazed at what they can bring through for you and what it will open for you to learn.
Thank you.
Blessings. I love your background, by the way. It's really a nice idea. It brings us into nature and honoring the Mother Earth at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. Becky, hi. Such a joy to see you.
It's actually Judith.
Judith, oh, I can't tell. Oh, hi, Judith.
Becky is here, but she went out of the picture because she's afraid when I read this poem, she's going to start crying. So I probably will too. But
we'll all cry with you. So.
Okay. Well, this little dog, when she was dying, I had to call Linda, of course. And she said, put her on the beamer and do TTouch. So we did all of those things. But she was a really funny, special dog. So the poem is called Reflection. Many years ago, I was walking in Golden Gate Park with my one black mutt and saw a mound of a man lying on his side, as big as landscape, a plush hillock for 3 whitish whippets strewn like so many languid concubines across his breadth. A bustle of tourists ogled, joggers fled by, blind with purpose. The native gaze bounced off yet another too common, uncommon sight. I stared at the man, at his harem of dogs, as intimate with him as any lover. I do not want to be like this man, I said to myself, more attached to dogs than people, a life confined by so insular a love. I should have recognized my conceit right then, guiding me toward myself. I did not know the man beyond this glimpse of him in dog-appropriate disheveled clothes, his white belly poking through voids between shirt buttons. He could have been the editor of a renowned rag, assistant chief of police, a high-stakes trader, or high-tech animator, a physicist, a statistician, an architect, a chef, a sous chef, head librarian. But here he was, landed on the park lawn, taking a respite from rigor. As time passed, I found myself diverting from an expected destiny, designing sets, to a surprising life with equines so talented that we traveled the world. Then, back from our adventures, there were dogs. Sometimes 2, sometimes 4, and always one favorite funny dwarfed dog. Prick-eared with short, stout legs and a spiraled tail. My feisty familiar, who shadowed me from room to room, leaping from carpet to carpet, never touching the wooden floor, as if she did, she would tumble into an infinite consuming chasm. Outside on tough treks up into chaparral and descending steep ravines, this fawn-colored dog vanished against golden summer grasses, showing up again when some sparse green growth contrasted with her tawny fur. Her magic act of dis and reappearing, adding to the thrill of our joint adventures. When she was dying, the top of my head blew off. My heart leapt into my throat, seeking an easy escape from grief, a grief that squeezed my skull so tight, the top had nowhere to go but up. The skin on my arms rose off. Layers of fat, muscle, sinew left my skeleton, shrouded now only with the space of loss. All these years later, I look into the mirror of that bountiful man's expanse. That's it.
Wow. The thing that's so interesting that comes to me when we dare to open our hearts and to feel, that opens the right brain to creativity. And when we reach out, like I said, hear what the animals have to say to you, what What a beautiful mirror to hold up, eh?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
boy. Wow. You never know how your emotions are sitting on the surface until something allows you to let them go. And how much thanks we have for Linda to be our catalyst for so many years. I was computing the other day, Linda, how long we've known you, and it must be 35 years, something like that, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
So Becky and I are in a lot of support groups, and one of the leaders of the group, she says, well, every night you should say 5 things that you're grateful for, but you're not allowed to say dogs, 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 because, as we all have exemplified here, they are critical to our survival. So
They are.
yeah.
And actually, we're critical to each other's survival when we recognize the love that brings us all together and the
Mhm.
connections over all the years we've had. How many people here that I have in this group here today, some have already had to leave, but how long we've known each other. And the fact that we continue to deepen into experience, to acknowledge that love, it just gets deeper. Love is letting go of fear. Feel the love. I love that, Judith. And I knew what was happening, Becky, when you disappeared around the corner. Of course. Yes, it's
I
all.
asked her if she wanted to say anything about Rio, but she doesn't want to. But I would like to say that Rio was Becky's horse, and together they were world champions and won millions of endurance rides, and Linda was often there by their sides to help. That he has always been a model for me, and exemplifies courage and endurance and the strength to keep going forward when you feel like you might give up, and because he never gave up. And I just feel so much gratitude to have met him and Becky.
And so what I want to share with you all is this image of a circle that to say goodbye, a whole lot of friends came in a circle, and Rio was free and walked around, as I remember it, Becky, and Judith, I wasn't there, but I just heard the story and I felt the feelings that he went to each person right around the circle.
Well, actually, he stood there and the people came to him and fed him his favorite treats. And everybody told funny stories about him and fed him wheat thins, which he loved. And then he finally, I think he heard probably 30 stories and had enough and put his tail over his back and galloped straight up the hill when, the vets had said, oh, he's going to, live maybe for another week. He lived another 6 weeks. And
well, so I have a very different picture. You were all.
That's okay. Your picture, I mean, we were standing in a circle and he was there with, our farrier was next to him, and yeah, I mean, it was a lovely, lovely celebration of life while he was still alive.
Yes, it was beautiful. So
yeah.
Thank you for sharing it. Remember this, you all. These TTouches and this heart hug activates both sides of our brain, and we absolutely need that. The reason that I say that, the logical reason, and this is that's important to understand, anything to do with numbers, because we imagine the space of a clock. This circle has a 6 o'clock on this imaginary clock, is 6 o'clock, the 9, the 12, and the 3. Anything to do with numbers and methods activates our logical side of the brain, and we need this to function in this world. But we really desperately need the right hemisphere. And when you imagine this clock, or just move, anything to do with movement, with imagination, activates the right side. And why do we need it? Because that's what we feel We dare to feel. We dare to come here and share our tears and celebrate that tears and know that when we do this, we deepen the love on the planet. Love and fear. We can choose that love when we choose to acknowledge the animals and the pain of the loss. And when we recognize, wait a minute, but energy is always here. It's never gone. And we call them in, we put up their pictures, we celebrate them in every way we can. So thank you. Creativity, compassion, intuition, feeling. That's our right brain. And that's what we get when we just imagine reaching out and doing these TTouches on your animals. Or we imagine writing that letter to them, or then you sit down and in reality do it and see what they say back to you. Thank you so much, you all. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Yeah, there's Shara, and Megan had her hand up, but it's down now. But Shara is, maybe Megan, if she's still here, can
She
put her
might-
hand back up. I don't know, but Shara is hands up now.
Okay, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How
Well,
are
there's some animals that I've had to say goodbye to through the years, between animals that were mine and animals that I knew in the shelter. And one of the animals that really came to me strongly in the beginning of this this meeting is a cat who came into a shelter that I was working at right before Hurricane Sandy, and she was they called her Barracuda because she was so scared that she was, swatting and hissing and trying to bite everybody and just was terrified. She was a feral cat. And so after I was able to come there after Hurricane Sandy had gone and I was able to go back there again, I started working with her really slowly, and she went through the most amazing transformation through touch. It turned out that I just worked with her so gradually, and what happened was there was a long green back scratcher that I started using with her, and that became the thing that she really was comfortable with initially. And anyway, her whole face changed, her whole being seemed really different after a while. It was just unbelievable. There was one day when the vet staff came into the cat room and they couldn't find her because they didn't recognize her. It was that extreme. And also, meanwhile, I had decided that I didn't like her being called Barracuda, so I had started calling her Barry. And everybody, including the vet staff who had named her originally, took on the name Barry. That was wonderful. And sadly, she ended up having cancer, and she had an operation, and we thought she was better for a while, but unfortunately, after some time, it just seemed to it came back everywhere. And so she passed, which was really, really sad because I felt a connection with her as though she was one of my animals. And strangely enough, she came from the same backyard that my two cats I have now were found in. But anyway, I was really, really sad when she passed, and she always has been in my heart. And there was this was a few years later, I think. I was having a time of so much anxiety and worry and stress. It was just, really, I was really, really having a hard time. And I had to there was one day I had to go and do a session with a cat, and I was like wondering, how am I going to just get centered and get myself together to do this? So I just started sitting quietly with the cat and just letting my energy flow. And all of a sudden, I saw this fur. Barry was a beautiful long-haired cat, and I just saw this fur, and then I saw Barry was there just right in front of me. And she said, "Don't worry, you're going to be okay." And it really it really was real. It really was very, very real and really intense. And I was so grateful, that this cat who had been so scared, came to me to give me courage. And I just wanted to share that with you. And I feel that I'm always connected with her. I have her ashes, and I have a painting that I did of her, well, several paintings that I did of her. And I just feel like she's always been been and will be an inspiration to me. And
That's beautiful. Thank you. And Sarah, did you send me that little tiny dog with the crystal?
yes, I did.
Look, I have to show it to everybody because it's on Griffin's altar.
Oh, that's so sweet.
The altar is in the kitchen.
Yes, that's it.
There he is. Usually it's right behind me on the shelf, but I put it on his altar.
Oh, I feel so honored. That's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing. And this business of changing their names, the energy of a name is,
Yeah.
now that we're understanding more and more about quantum science and energy, they understand why Barracuda is not a good idea to name a cat.
Absolutely.
A happy cat. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So did Megan come back?
No, I guess not. I guess she left. If she left, put something in the chat. I had to go.
Is there anything in the chat?
Mostly people are just finding this an amazing time of sharing and opening their hearts and sharing.
Marnie, the fact that you and I have had these long discussions over all these pictures I've pulled together, it's been so meaningful to me, this idea that, that we dare to share the tears. We're so afraid to cry. It's so interesting. And it's such a gift to have the courage to bring those tears out and turn them into flowing love. And I think when we share our feelings like this and we get validated in it, makes a difference. Could we have a closing song? James, would be so beautiful. I love the name of the song.
Absolutely.
Put our hearts together, James, all of our ends.
You have been a friend to me, someone to hold, someone to see. Through the years, through some tears, I'm glad we never put an end to who we are, me and you, simple things we like to do, having talks, taking walks, watching people passing by. You have been my home when I was alone so many times. You have cared when I thought no one was there. And at the top of my list, you gave to me what many people can miss, the kind of love that says you are my friend. You have been my home when I was alone so when I thought no one was there. And at the top of my list, you gave to me what many people can miss. Oh, the kind of love that says you are my friend. Oh, the kind of love that says you are my friend.
Thank you all. Thank you for being here, sharing, good to share, and yes. If you want to, this will be posted in the library, and you'll get a notice about that. So loving you all. Continue to dare to make a difference on the planet.
Love you, Linda.
Love you, Linda.
Bye.
Blessings, everyone.
Love you, Linda. Thank you so much.
Ciao, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much for sharing. What a
Thank
difference.
you, Linda.
Share. Bye. Stop the recording.
Corgi.
Look at that little one. Stop the share. Oh, wait. Oh no, stop the recording. Here we go.